Good Tuesday evening. Welcome to BCP Live. Hi, I'm Joey McWilliams, and there's the camera. I was looking 2 or 3 different directions right there. I wanted to make sure I had the comment section turned on because I want to give you all a chance. Please let us know from where you are watching tonight and give us a shout out in the comment section tonight. I have a very special guest on. I think all the guests are special. It's not sometimes, I feel like I come on and say, and tonight on a very special Blossom. And if you're old enough to get that reference, then good for you. I'm glad that you recognize that. But I do have a special guest on tonight in Israel, Arnold. But I wanted to say, hey, listen, it's good to get to be visiting with you again tonight as we are past the midpoint in April, and we're in the home stretch of the school year. As a matter of fact, I'm about to have one graduate, not just once, but twice, and we can talk about that over the next month. But there is a lot going on this week in the Patriot household. I hope you're doing well tonight. I want to get to visit with Israel right now. And so I invite him in already on your screen. And to the right there, to my left, I guess, on the monitor, but there it is on the right, Israel Arnold, who, man, I messed that up twice.
Like Schwarzenegger.
I know. Is it because Israel is in front of it that you can't say
Probably.
Arnold so smoothly after? I don't know. But who does a number of things here in Bryan County. I want to mention a couple of them tonight and give him a chance to talk now as you're officially introduced into the program now, Israel. You own Button 108, Lost Communications. You are the pastor of a church here in town. Let's start with your businesses really quickly because I do want to mention them. Button 108. Now, you've been a part of Coffee Network for a while, and so I was really curious. I'm glad you answered this question before. I know about what you do and working with different things, computers and all of that. Where do you get that name, Button 108? And would anyone recognize it just off the top of their head? Maybe.
That's a good question. Probably nobody would guess what the name is off the top of their head. They might if they saw the logo. If you were like me, you mentioned earlier, catching the reference if you're old enough. And I'm sorry, I didn't catch the reference, Joey. Oh. But maybe somebody catches the reference as both Lost Island Communications and Button 108 are a reference to the TV show Lost, which I was very, very obsessed with in its day, and I think rightfully so. But you mentioned that you had an experience with that too while you were at Victory.
Yeah, I was just saying, when I was at Victory Life, and we were talking just before we came on the air here, that I watched for a little bit, and then I stopped watching, and I wanted to finish it, and then life happened, and I just didn't get all the way through. But I'd seen just a little bit of it when I was working at Victory Life, and of course, this goes back a few years.
As a youth pastor, you said, right?
As a youth pastor, as a matter of fact, yeah, that was that stretch there. I was 5.5 years of the time I was there. I was a youth pastor.
See, I didn't realize you'd been a youth pastor before this conversation. So
really,
I moved up to Durant to be a youth pastor. I was a youth pastor at the River for about 13 years.
Wow!
And in the beginning of that, in the first few years, I was watching Lost. Lost was out, and I got a lot of our youth really interested and hooked in it too. And so one day we planned a night where a few of us, I had youth over to our house. As the last episode had just rolled out, we had it on our DVR. They came over and we did an all-nighter and watched the whole last season, finishing on watching the last episode together. So did that with our youth group.
Those are cool youth group things to do. I love those things. Those were great. I always enjoyed having youth group over at my house. Now, neighbors didn't necessarily like it.
Right.
When I was a first year youth pastor way back at Abundant Life Temple, as it was called at the time, I lived in the duplexes. Over off University Manor duplexes. And I can tell you that more than once that I annoyed people when the youth group would come to my house. It's a wonder. Invited very nicely to leave. Actually, I want
to.
But go ahead. Back to Button and Lost. Yes.
Yeah, Button 108 was a reference to something in season 2. There was a countdown clock up on the wall down in the hatch where every 108 minutes they had to enter a code on the computer, hit the button to save the world. They believed at the time that if they didn't, something catastrophic was going to happen, a nuclear bomb launch or something like that. But they had to enter the code every 108 minutes or disaster would strike. So That's where Button 108 came from.
I love it.
It's kind of become our personality too, that we, a lot of our stuff is island themed, that we really want to help business people relax, let them do their thing, and hopefully create a workflow for them that makes it to where they can not only work but live their lives, and let us deal with the tech stuff for them. And we've added to that the fact that we can really make it to where they could work from an island if they want to and do everything they do remotely. So
Okay, so this is it's a tech business. So just really quickly overview. Somebody comes into Button 108. What service do you provide?
yeah, so we at Button 108, so we have the two different sides, Button 108 and Lost Island. Button 108 provides IT services primarily for businesses. So while we do work with home users as well, and we get calls to, hey, can you help me set up my email, my iPhone, or whatever. Really, what we do is we manage networks and computer systems, servers, etc., for businesses, and we do managed services where we take care of the security and the backups and remote access and kind of everything all in one. And yeah, so we've been doing that for 11 years now, I think.
Wow.
Button
That
108.
is cool. But then the Lost Island Communications, that's relatively new, right?
Yes, it is. That's within the last year. We started doing phone systems about 6 or 7 years ago. And we very early on were kind of interested in the idea of being able to provide the phone service ourselves, but we were scared to take that leap of dealing with the FCC and all the tax code that comes along with that. And so we were satisfied for a while to just provide the in-house portion of that. But as time went by, we got more and more away from in-house and found a system that we really loved and that worked really well. And so that started moving us towards the cloud. And finally, we just came to this place where we're like, you know what, we need to take the leap. It's time to cut the cord, and we're going to take care of all of it. We're going to deal with the FCC if we have to. We're going to deal with all the various tax commissions that are required there. And we want to be able to provide dial tone as well as the system. So it's kind of all in one. You don't have to go to AT&T to get this and go to this guy to get the phone system and go to this guy to get the network installed to support the phone system. We can provide the whole service and the whole package.
Well, that's pretty cool. All right. Well, I've learned a little bit more. I follow you, but I'm learning a little bit more about all of this put together. And this is all under one umbrella. We're not dealing with. We're speaking with. You're dealing with all this. We're speaking tonight with Israel Arnold with Button 108, Lost Island Communications. A lot going on with your business. But one of the things too, Israel, is that this is not just the only thing you do. You were talking about being a youth pastor for what'd you say, 11 years?
13 years, I think.
Okay. 11. Okay. That's the number for me, because I did 5.5 twice. So that's 11. But 13 years, but you are a senior pastor right now as well.
Yes, sir.
Now talk about that just a little bit, because you are at the river, and it's just off North Washington. First off, talk about the river and how long have you been the senior pastor there?
I have been the senior pastor at the river since fall of 2020. So an exciting time to.
I was going to say, you just jumped right in. Well, that's a great time to be involved when lots of people were not actually physically coming to a church location at the time. So, boy, just jump right in there, you and your family. And so the river, if you're driving by on 6975, they can see your church. They can't just turn off 6975. Unfortunately, though, that would probably help you a lot if you could.
That would be wonderful. We need a little bridge over to the high school.
That's what we need. Overpass. I would love to have Gerlach go all the way across over to Montefiore. I think that would be, I don't know. I've said more than once, people, they didn't ask my opinion, but if they did, that would be one that would be huge. What a great outlet too for that road, because high school traffic is a bear sometimes. But how do they?
We'd have less kids playing Frogger.
Yes. And if you're old enough to get that reference, definitely. Okay, stop right there. Israel, have you actually ever played Frogger on an upright game?
Yes.
Upright. You played on an upright.
I believe so. I played it on, PC a lot, but I would say on an upright, yes.
Okay, I go back to I've given to a very special Blossom tonight, and I've played Frogger on an upright game. So I'm
all right.
And I know I'm a little older than you are anyway, but that's okay. So how do people get to the river?
Yeah, so one nice thing is no matter which way you're going, north or south on 75, you just exit Washington and turn right. Since they both happen to come out the same direction. Exit Washington, turn right. You go about a block over, and there will be a sign that says the river this way. There's a church right there that is not the river, which sometimes gets confusing.
Yep.
But the sign is a big arrow, so that's helpful.
Okay.
But yeah, we're just we're non-denominational church, very grace focused. Grace is the message that changed my life. Bible talks about the gospel of grace, and just I am thankful that it's by grace that we are saved through faith and not by works that any man could boast, because I don't have any works to boast about. I'm just thankful that Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and that's what I rely on.
Well, I agree with you on all those points. I don't have anything that's I've done nothing that's gonna get me to heaven. It is all about what Jesus did for me. And I am very, very thankful, by the way, for that too. And I think as I get older, I recognize that even more and more and more. So I appreciate that. All right. So I am so thankful for your time tonight too. I'm enjoying getting to visit and want to talk a little bit more about everything. Let me again, for those just stopping by really quickly, if you're watching this live, thanks a lot. Give us a comment. Let us know from where you are watching tonight. If it's in Bryan County or even outside of Bryan County, you're watching us tonight here. Israel Arnold with us here, and with Button 108, Lost Island Communications, and the senior pastor of a church. Man, that's a lot on your plate, and a good sized family as well. So how do you juggle all of that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Honestly, probably just good people around me. I can definitely say we have a good team, both at the church and at my business, and I'm thankful for good people around who care about me, and I care about them, and we work together. So yeah.
I really do think I agree with you entirely. By the way, hi Michelle, good to see your name come up tonight. Watching from Durant. And we're broadcasting at least from here at Studio B in the Emerald Quest World Headquarters. As I fondly refer to where we are, it's in North Durant as well, which, by the way, is also where the river is, not too far from our location right here. You were talking about also the fact that you have good people around you in both locations, and I wanted to give you a chance even just to say something about that, because it's two different things. I mean, you're talking about business and you're talking about church, and I'm sure you probably had a church phone call when you've been working on your business, just because it's the week someone's going to call. And I'll bet, I would just imagine somebody's probably asked you a tech question when you were inside the church. So
none of my customers have ever tried to call the emergency line while I'm preaching on a Sunday morning. It's never happened. Luckily, there are other people who can catch those or catch it in voicemail 30 minutes later. Yeah, it is a balance, but just honestly, I think one of the things there is just being willing to say no sometimes, and I have to say no sometimes to church people too. I know that you maybe like to think, no, you always say yes to church people. Never miss that call, but truth is sometimes we have to focus. If I'm with someone, I try to give them my attention as much as possible. And same thing with my family. When I'm with my family, I try to give them my attention. So,
right.
Things work out. You can sometimes miss a phone call and catch it later. So I find that is a very important thing, which I will say, going back to almost a salesy thing here for a minute, but that has been a huge thing with our phone system for me. We all work on the go. Our team does. And so for us, it's an app that we use on our phone. And so we don't have to sit around the office, but that means at the same time that I'm not the only person who can catch those calls. I can make sure that the load is shared. We can also do special routing and stuff. If you call me, if you've ever called me, you get my voicemail, and it's not really a voicemail. It's an auto attendant, and it may be a pain to some people. If so, I'm sorry, but it's how I've learned to cope. It'll tell you like, hey, if you're actually trying to reach button 108, not Israel, then maybe press 1 and you'll get somebody who can help you, because maybe I'm in a meeting or whatever, or maybe I'm at church. Or if you need to leave him a personal voicemail, press 2. So my cell phone forwards my business office phone if I don't answer, and then it routes those calls specially to deal with those. And we have all kinds of little tricks set up to make sure that calls get answered as much as possible. And it's neat to have that control. For years, we did not have a system that was able to manage calls that way, and it was an experimental process to find among the thousands of providers out there one that really worked well. So.
Well, it sounds like you have reached that point, and I agree with you. It's tough to find that balance, and then the experiment of trying to find a way to cope with it all once it all starts to come together. But listen, Israel, I want to say thank you for coming on the show tonight, and I want to, again, because you have a good family, and they gave me a little bit of your time tonight. I want to make sure it gets back because it's a school night still in April, and there's a lot going on. So wrap us up here, by the way. For everyone watching us live, thank you for watching. Give us a comment. Let us know from where you're watching tonight. We appreciate that. But also, if you are watching this on the replay and you're still with us this long, you are a trooper. Thank you very much. Israel, wrap up your time then tonight and let us know again how to get to Button 108. How do they find you? And then also, you get a chance to invite people to church too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, you can go to button108.com, button108.com, islandtella.com for Lost Island Communications, or theriverdurant.com for our church. A lot of websites to remember there, but those are the best ways. You can find our phone numbers, etc. There are ways to contact us. We have church tomorrow night, 7 p.m. We have dinner at 6 p.m. and then service at 7, and we have service Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. So we'd love to see you guys there.
All right. Israel Arnold with Button one. I've
been told it sounds like I say but, so I got to clarify button108.com, especially before you go to the website.
Yes, I understand. You want to make sure you're getting the right word. I had a friend that and I actually worked with him in youth ministry for a long time, and he never, when it was a word with two T's, he would never say either T. It would button, and it drove me absolutely nuts. So it's button.
That's that Southern charm. Yeah.
There we go. He was from the North anyway. It didn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yankee. I'm not sure. Okay. Israel, thank you again. So please, and sponsor on the site too. One of the advertisers here on Bryan County Patriot. Check us out, bryancountypatriot.com. I will let Israel go then. Thank you so much. And I know if I may see you at Coffee Network sometime soon or whenever the next time I get a chance to see you. He is out and around town and has so many different things that he can do for you, for your business, for your personal communications, and actually for your spiritual life as well. So keep him in mind. All right. And by the way, and I thought about this afternoon, I'll say this too. One of the coolest names in all of Bryan County, Israel. Just a great name. I love that name. So
well, thanks.
There you go. All right. God bless you, man. I'll let you go. And shout out to you and your family. And thank you for being on with us tonight.
Thanks, Joey.
All right. I'm going to let Israel go and go be with his family for a little while. Man, great guest. I was glad he was with me tonight. I told you that we did have some good guests coming up in the month of April, and I was not exaggerating about that at all. Listen, a lot going on. And if you didn't see today, and we shared this on the Bryan County Patriot Facebook page, that Coach Schur, who is the new softball coach at Southeastern, well, it's not new right now. I mean, they're well into the season. Southeastern in a tie for second place in the Great American Conference softball standings. Southeastern will be going to Bentonville, Arkansas next week for the GAC conference tournament in softball. And so you need to keep that in mind. She won her 100th game as a coach today. So I think that is really pretty cool. So a shout out to her, to Coach Schur for that. And again, softball now, it is a privilege to get to do Great American Conference broadcasts. So the next weekend, I will be in Bentonville, Arkansas for softball. And the weekend after that, I will be in Springdale, Arkansas, I believe, for GAC baseball. But that does not mean that we won't have our Tuesday night shows on each of those 2 weeks. So be looking for those and tune back in. This is a good time for lots of folks to, if you're a softball fan, there's a lot going on. Caddo punched its ticket to state today in softball. So keep that in mind too. If you are a Bruins fan, go Bruins. So we'll see how this turns out. This is a Caddo program that has been consistent in softball of late, fast pitch titles, slow pitch titles. So they know what to do once they get into the playoffs. So go Lady Bruins. and a number of other programs still out there. Southeastern softball. I don't know. Let's just see here really quickly if my computer will wake up. This is information, by the way, that I should have known before I came on the air, and I thought about it and then got busy with my own family. And so you're watching a live broadcast right now. So let me see here. Cameron University, which used to be in the same conference with Southeastern, was in town today at Southeastern's softball field, which is near where the new rodeo facilities are coming up. So checking here to see really quickly. I know live broadcast. Let me check on softball. By the way, Southern Nazarene was here. It's not often you get to see, especially during the midweek, that you see Southeastern with home games for softball and baseball at the same time. So that was pretty nice. All right, bringing this up here again, live broadcast. Sorry if you're still with us watching this live. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. See a lot of people live stream and they just do whatever they want to. I try to have the information out there a little bit before I actually go on live, but enjoying time with the family. It's prom weekend too, so we're getting ready for a lot of things going on. Southeastern won game one today. That was Coach Scheer's 100th victory as a coach. Split with Cameron today, lost game two. So Southeastern not playing at home anymore softball this season because they go on the road to play at Southern Arkansas, which playing softball or baseball for that matter at Magnolia, Arkansas is just, that is a tall order. So Southeastern, though, right now tied for number 2 in the standings. That just means they'll be wearing a light colored jersey. Once you get to the conference tournament, I mean, it's one of those things. It's one and done, and you have to give your best. But you also want to be in a position where you can earn that automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. And Southeastern overall right now 30-22, and that's right there on the line if you want to get an at-large bid. So you definitely don't want to wait around and see if you can get an at-large bid. Southeastern baseball 24-23 today, or right now, as a matter of fact, and that is after an extra inning victory today in the single game midweek game against Southern Nazarene. And Southeastern, by the way, playing its last game at home because they're going to be on the road at Ada, and that is it's this weekend, Friday and Saturday, and good opportunity for Southeastern to pick up some wins. Yeah, it really is a good opportunity for Southeastern to pick up some wins and secure their spot in the conference tournament, 14-16 overall. So Southeastern with an opportunity to close out strong, again going to Ada, which if you are a baseball fan, it's not that far down the road. So just a little bit more than an hour right there. That is Friday and Saturday. Lots going on. One other thing, too, and a shout out to our arts and entertainment segment sponsor, Cherokee Communication. We have arts and entertainment. We like talking about that. Wizard of Oz is going to be performing Saturday, 2 performances, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And it's a youth performance. It's OSF, but it's part of what OSF does, Oklahoma Shakespearean Festival, if you're keeping score at home, is what they do with their youth and children over the course of the year. So the Wizard of Oz, and it is a musical performance that is this Saturday, and tickets are on sale at the ticket booth. So you may want to check that out. I mentioned here, and this is personal because I know some of the schools in Bryan County have had prom already. Durant's prom is this weekend, so we have one going to that. So we're getting ready. It's been a while since we'd gotten a prom dress, so that's pretty cool. I'm extremely proud of daughter number 3 and her going to prom on that. So I haven't gone half an hour yet. Looking forward to getting to visit with our next guest next week. I always try to keep those to myself, not because I'm embarrassed of the guest. I love the guest, but sometimes because when we announce a guest early and something happens and he or she is not able to be on the show that night, I feel bad for them. So anyway, there we go. Next week, another guest here on BCP Live. In the meantime, I want to say thanks, Michelle, for tuning in tonight. To everyone else who has tuned in tonight, watching the live show, thank you. If you are watching this by replaying, you're still here right now, you are absolutely a trooper. I remind you to be wise, walk in love. Do not walk in fear. Thanks again to Israel Arnold for being on the broadcast tonight. Button 108, Lost Island Communications, and he's also the pastor at the river. So check him out in any one of those locations. Again, thanks for watching tonight. Appreciate you for stopping by the show 25 plus minutes in, and we will call it quits for this Tuesday night, April 25th, 2023. God bless you. Have a great night.